Joining me today is Spec Bowers, who's running for the New Hampshire House. He's running in the Sullivan District 2, which is Sunapee and Croydon?
Sunapee and Croydon.
Okay, so Spec, I guess this is a chance just to the voters to get the chance to know you, and why are you running? What's your political philosophy? And
well, I'll start off with just a little bit about who I am. I'm a small businessman. I call myself an innkeeper. It's not exactly an inn, but it's not exactly a motel either. I own vacation rental cottages, George's Mills cottages on Otter Pond. And most people in the Sunapee, New London area have driven right by my house probably 100 times. Why I'm running, I could give lots of reasons, but one event really crystallized it for me. This is a true story. It happened to a friend of mine. And an older woman came up to him and said, "I haven't voted in 30 years, but this year I'm voting." "Why?" he asked. And she said, "Because I'm losing my babies." She explained that her children and grandchildren were moving out of the state because they couldn't find jobs. She wanted them to stay, but they can't. She's going to be all alone. And that's not just an economic story, that's a human tragedy. And it's been happening thousands of times in recent years that young families, exactly the kind of people we want to stay in New Hampshire and help develop New Hampshire, they're moving out of New Hampshire to find jobs somewhere else. Sometimes it's Massachusetts, sometimes it's Texas. And if you think a decade in the future, that woman might need a caregiver, and her family won't be there to give her care, and she may end up on the nursing home. So that's part of the reason why New Hampshire, they say it's been getting grayer, it's getting older. It's because young people are moving out of the state. And that's a symptom of jobs, economy, and tied into all of this is healthcare, because the new healthcare law, I know businesses who have had to lay off people because they can't afford health insurance, which has gone sky high, especially in New Hampshire. It was already bad enough. It's gotten even worse. A friend of mine, he has a partner in a small business, and in recent years they've had to lay off all their employees but one. And then starting a couple months ago, each of the partners took a pay cut themselves, and then they took a second pay cut. And then they said, we can't keep their last employee. And I know other businessmen who they've had employees, and the state government has hassled them about this, that, or the other, and they've said, I'm just not going to have any employees anymore. It's just not worth the hassle. And that's exactly backwards from what we want. We should have a government that encourages businesses to come to New Hampshire, to grow, to hire more people. And so those items are my focus of economy and jobs are all tied together, and healthcare is tied together.
So what would be the policy initiatives to get more job growth in New Hampshire? And maybe I should frame it slightly differently. Is it sort of job growth from New Hampshire in New Hampshire, or is it attracting businesses that are outside of New Hampshire to New Hampshire, or a combination of the above?
Well, it should be both. A lot of us still remember a phrase, the New Hampshire advantage. Well, that used to be true. New Hampshire did have an advantage compared to all the other New England states, and we did attract business from neighboring states, and businesses stayed here and grew. These days, is there a New Hampshire advantage anymore? I don't think there is. It was kind of sad, it might have been a year ago, I read a report that Massachusetts, and we often refer to Massachusetts as Tax-achusetts, has lower business taxes than New Hampshire. We have some of the worst in the entire country. And that's not how you encourage businesses to move to New Hampshire. But let me give a broader answer to your question. of how we encourage business. The first step in solving a problem is recognizing that there is a problem. And too many of our current leaders, our governor and also our congresswomen and our senator, they don't realize there is a problem. My own incumbent wrote, New Hampshire is on the right track. Well, in the last 4 months, we've lost 7,000 jobs. There are fewer jobs now than there were 8 years ago. That's never happened in our history. I mean, normally jobs grow.
Right, and I know historically we've always had net move-in,
And
we're not getting that net move-in at all.
And so I think the first step is recognizing there is a problem. The second step is look around at what works and what doesn't work. We don't have all the knowledge here, I certainly don't, but we can look at where it works and where it doesn't work.
And I got to stop there because
Okay.
we're just out of time.